Hey guys, welcome to Right Daily. It's Nick. What's going on? Another 60-second word sprint for Monday of this week after Easter. Dating this video for who knows what reason, but let's open up a web browser. Let's go to a nice little oneword.com. I'm going to let you catch up if you need some catching up. If you don't know how we're going to use one word a day, I've got a tutorial. It's about a 7-minute video. I'm going to link the description, or I'm going to give a link to that in the description below, so you can know what we're doing here on Write Daily. Just writing every other day, doing these 60-second word sprints to, get some flow going, get our brains moving, and just get out there and write whatever comes to mind when we see the word on the next page. Now, if you've been with me so far last week, we did 3 of these: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's going to be our schedule. And then maybe something on Thursday and a brainstorming session on one of those 2 days to get something akin to like a writing prompt, which I did last Friday. And I'm thinking this week I'm going to take that writing prompt somewhere because I really liked what we did with that. It was a little thing about 2 people in the dark. They were walking through the abyss, and one person's gown is lighting the path for them. And that's something I got from, building upon a 60-second word here that I had that was glow. So I'm going to click this button. I'm going to go to the next page. I'm going to do the usual, mute myself. I'm going to put on some music. I'm going to write for 60 seconds on my first impression on the word on the next screen. If you're following along with me, you do it too. I'm going to review some of the things under the Write tab on this site, depending on who else has put in some stuff today or yesterday. It depends on when the word rolls over. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, or I check it at on the wrong time. I don't know. But let's go. Okay, 60 seconds. My time is up. But as you can see here, time's up. Finish your last sentence and click the button to submit. I'm going to finish out this one sentence I've got going. I'm going to submit that after I go over it with you, and then we're going to check out what's on the next page. Okay, so today's word is laughing. Before I go into this, I just want to say that a couple lines in, I kind of thought about a story I wrote back in 2012. A little sci-fi thing. It was unfinished, but it was inspired by a guy named Dan Abnett. He writes a lot of Warhammer books. He writes some of my favorite of the Warhammer stuff about Inquisitor Eisenhorn, the other guy that I haven't read much of, Ravenor, He does a lot of the Gaunt's Ghost stuff, and I found him through, a friend of mine named Kaylin actually was talking about Gaunt's Ghost stuff when I was like 14. Got another friend of ours into it, and then eventually it found its way to me. And then I tore through those books. I devoured the Eisenhorn stuff. Haven't read Ravenor still, but I read like his newest book, and he's got like a sequel coming out to one of those soon. And he really inspired me in the like crazy hard sci-fi way of like military science fiction, and that's where I got like halfway through this. I latched onto that story I'd wrote that was like really inspired by him, and a lot of things that I write that are visceral and and graphic in that sense are just kind of things that I learned through him. And emulation is one of the things that will take you far in writing. If you don't know how to write, but you have a favorite author and you emulate their style, it can do so much to help you develop your own way of seeing things and writing things. Because if you combine what you see and what you know with somebody else's style, you're not always going to get, J.K. Rowling. You're not always going to get Dan Abnett. You're not going to get, I'm thinking of a guy who writes comics that I can't think of his name right now, Brad something. But you're not always going to get those people on the other side of those things, even though you may think that you are. Like, I can do a pretty good Neil Gaiman like impersonation of like, chapter this wherein this and that and this happens. It was this, it was that. And, when I read American Gods for a while, I wanted to kind of write in a little bit of his style, but it's not for me. It's a little too terse for my liking. His sentences are a little too brief. And I love that he's got a style all of his own, but I'm somewhere between a Neil Gaiman and a Stephen King in that sometimes I like the really short stuff. A lot of the time, I really like the really long, fluid, descriptive sentences. So today's word was laughing. Laughter is a strange thing. If you're in on the joke, it feels breathtaking, enlightening, moving. And if you're not, it feels like the cruelest thing in the world. It feels like everybody and everything is against you. As we trudge through the city, through the rows and the columns, we could feel the rank, vile disgust of the cityfolk we have sworn to protect. Okay, and like I said, that is based on something I wrote 2012. I wrote like 3 or 4 chapters. I think it was like 3 solid, really well done chapters, and a fourth like I don't know. I wrote like 2,000 words and it doesn't go anywhere else. And I've written like side stories and like prequels, short stories in the same universe in the same kind of time period before and after. And I really like what I created, even though I never finished it. But sometimes things like this bring me back. In my background today, um, if we take away this imagery in the middle right here, like the destroyed buildings and the cityscape and the haunting, like dark, fiery sky, that kind of thing brings me back to that story that I wrote. And I really like that. So gonna hit submit. We're gonna take a look at some of the other stuff on the page. You know what? Today I'm gonna try zooming into this, even though it made no difference. Now I feel silly. Wow. Gonna go back so we get a little background, so we have a little something to like focus in on. That's not just this. I thought I was gonna make it like I was gonna hit this button, it was gonna like come out and be huge, and then I'd have a good laugh and be like, hey, I could have been showing you these whole lines at this website, but no, I didn't. Okay, so this was April 16th's word. April 16th. Um 28 entries, but that's over 2 days because it's the 17th now, even though I'm doing this kind of late in the day. Um as I said last week, crazy week, crazy work week. I had to see a friend that came out from California. I haven't seen him in like 6 years, so we were catching up. So I didn't really have time to do that Friday spot as soon as I'd liked. I didn't really have time to do this today because I went into work. Just got scheduled earlier than I'm usually am. So I didn't have time to bang this out before work. So I'm doing it after I got home. As I'm not like a bigger channel or anything yet, I'm just keeping my schedule as set Monday, Wednesday, Friday for these. I want to get them between 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock if I can, Eastern time in the afternoon. If I can't, I'm still doing them. And if you're doing them with me, I still want you to do them, no matter if I'm here or I'm not. So let's go over some laughing. I'm gonna go right here. T. Michael Smith. I've seen this name before. I like it. So usually has some stuff. They're a member. If you create a login from oneword.com, it saves all of your writing on your profile. So if you're doing them every day, then you can just save that. It'll be like just whole record of what you've done. For me, I've got the channel. I've got all these videos to say, hey, what did I write and what did I talk about that day? So T. Michael Smith. The laughing started when I walked into the room, and I almost lost my balance simply reaching for my first drink. The laughing was so loud to me at the time that I hesitated, only for a second, and then put the drink down back on the bar. I approached the crowd as I was. It's channeling some embarrassment, which laughing is either going to be, it can be joy, or it can be, some unsettling, some sad, really uncomfortable kind of tales. Jessica, they're laughing. I know they're laughing at me. Not with. No one ever does that. No one in this world seems to share my sense of humor. I'm floating above. And they're still laughing. Will they ever stop? Will they ever laugh with me? Another on the embarrassing, sad kind of things, or side of things. I want to see if I can find something that's like on the good side of things. Here we go. Pickled thoughts. She kept laughing until she couldn't breathe. It was the happiest she felt in a long time. The laughter wasn't just something you would hear, it was something you would see in her eyes. Laughter definitely felt like a remedy. And I don't think they finished that last sentence there. I think they just kind of clicked ahead. Or they missed a period. But yeah, I do have for me, when I think of good laughter, I do think of this like crazy bellyache kind of I can't breathe, I'm getting a headache because I'm not getting enough oxygen to my brain kind of laughter. That kind of like, you got a friend, which is usually me, that falls on the floor laughing when you see, I don't know, the last time I laughed like this was I saw the Liartown calendar ad for their supermarket, and I read Tropical John's describing pineapples, and I lost it. And me and my friend and my roommate, we just died, and we were reading them to each other for like an hour. And that's the kind of good laugh that I think about. So I wanted to find some of those. Betsy Lake. I like to see if people have websites. I always hope that somebody has a website. Snorting, giggling, chuckling, rumbling through you like unstoppable waves. Crash after crash that leaves your sides aching and the muscles straining across your face. Worse than any short sprint or fanatic soul cycle session. That's the kind of laughter I was just describing. And they just kind of nailed what I was talking about, what I was thinking of when I was thinking about that. Forgotten wonder, onder. Whoever makes me laugh is a candidate to be one of my best friends. I concur. I haven't done a long one in a while. Let's do a long one by I. Thinning out everything. As if my eyes can't open all the way. As if my voice went too high and suddenly it's gone. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when I last made a sound or what I said, or maybe I just closed CT. Words pushed out like a huff of breath, and I wait for an incredulous look to know the moment I'm not making any. Bleh. Words pushed out like a huff of breath, and I wait for an incredulous look to know that the moment I'm not making real sentences anymore. Sometimes all I manage are empty platitudes, dropping all buildup or explanations I'm fond of, instead blindfolding my words and dropping them in the middle of a desert and letting them dry out and shrivel. I'm not one to promote silence with so many words to be said, but I'm already half under, so my jaw clenches and flexes, and I want to drown in it. No room in my empty space to be worried. Not now. Not anymore. Am I taking it in from the outside or a producer? I feel like it is a reading on everything, on declines and subsides and sidelines. But to trust a feeling echoing in an empty space is risk enough. It wouldn't be something I could change or shake, so I hold it quietly until I break. I know this ride and where the spiral ends. It is slow when destruction has come so fast, but there it is, a bit of green. Starting so small and timid, but eventually breaking through the dead grass to its former glory. I count the leaves. They are all there, more or less. A bit of sunlight bounces off me until I can't help but reflect a little. After having been filled with something so familiar, so comforting. Slowly, I push the deadened grass aside. I don't know what that had to do with laughter, but yo, that was amazing. The word choice in that alone, and like the poetry, the kind of rhyming scheme that hits like here and there, I'm digging that so hard. I'm gonna keep an eye out. If I ever see that name again, I'm just building a list of like, is your name this? That's your name? This is you? I'm going in, I'm always looking for you. Like Bridget Grace over there, I'm looking for that one next. But this one, wow. I like that. That's emotional. And I don't I'm not piecing together what the beginning is. I'm not piecing together what the beginning is of my voice went too high and suddenly it's gone. Maybe it's like somebody's coming in and out. Huh. I don't know. I'd have to read that to myself a couple of times to really understand and comprehend what I'm reading. But I do like the sometimes I'm trying to talk. My words come out just rushed and hurried. Sometimes all I can do are empty platitudes. Sometimes I'm just saying, "Hey, um, oh God, I can't remember what the meaning of platitude is right now. Let's look it up. Should always do this when you do not know what a word means. Platitude, a remark or statement, especially one with moral content that has been used too often to be interesting or thoughtful. Cliches, truism, commonplace, banality, an old chestnut, bromide, inanity. Their banal, trite, hackneyed stock phrase. Okay. It's just something like, hey, let's look for some. Oh, there aren't really any. Oh, here we go. It is what it is. Me in the middle, busy as a bee. Better late than never. Just be yourself. Or burning the midnight oil. Nobody's perfect. Or all platitudes in a thought terminating circle. So, empty platitudes. They are dropping all build up or explanation that I'm fond of, instead blindfolding my words and dropping them in the middle of a desert, letting them dry out and shrivel. They're just throwing things out there. They're just like, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Better luck next time. So we get that feel right there. I'm not one to promote silence with so many words to be said, but they're going out. They're on the way out. They're either falling asleep or they've been drugged and they're just going in and out. It's like, am I taking it in from the outside or a producer? I don't know what or a producer means. I don't know like if this is like their own universe they're writing about something. But or maybe they just mean like, is somebody producing this from me? Is somebody feeding me these lines? And then they find something to hold on to. It's slow when destruction had come so fast. But there it is, a bit of green, starting so small and timid, but eventually breaking through the dead grass to its former glory. And they're finally finding something that they can hold on to so they can push the dead grass aside and latch on to something that they can get through all of this, all the other stuff with. I like that. It could be a bit clearer for me or have context so I would know what's being talked about, but I like that. Laughing makes my heart happy. Laughing makes my days better, the hard times easier. I love to laugh. I can laugh at myself, at the jokes from my 8-year old, the silly things my 2-year old says. Laughter makes my life better. By Mayor Jane Larson. And I agree with that. I feel laughing makes my heart happy. It does make my days better. It makes everything easier, especially dark humor. Dark humor for me right now is like, it's my it. I'm not one for like the awkward, like Zoe Deschanel type awkward humor, but I am one for like the dark humor that makes people kind of like catch themselves and have to really take a second to really focus in on what you've just said. I love that. That's my kind of humor. I'm gonna do a Break Your Grace, then I'm gonna do one more, and then we're gonna move it on out. She heard the bubbling sound of joy from the next room, and she smiled into the soapy water of the sink. She shook her hands and wiped them on a towel on the counter, leaning against the island and listening to the sounds of life in the house. It was nice. I agree. That's that's really nice. Just a moment out of someone's day that kind of it's the kind of passage that informs you what they appreciate about life. This is something that if you've ever watched like Fixer Upper, which is one of my favorite shows, if you ever watch this, this is Joanna. This is her like she's washing dishes and like she's washing dishes. The kids are going crazy. Like her husband's in another room doing some crazy project. But as she's washing dishes, she's reflecting on the life that she has and the life that she leads. Which those kind of passages can help build a character more than if you wrote they are like this. They are reflective and appreciative of what they have. If you show that in context in your writing or your work, like this, someone smiling into the soapy water as like mania is going on behind them. And then they describe that to themselves as it was nice. Then you know that that embodies that character to a T. And it's something I love about writing. Okay, so one more. Pick like a medium. I'm going with Rose. I saw it first and it kind of drew me like the first like 3 words. Okay, like first like 7 words. There was this girl sitting in the library, studying perhaps, reading perhaps. Nobody knows. Perhaps she was daydreaming. But she was laughing and laughing and laughing. Nobody knows what she was thinking about. But I knew I was concerned about her mental health. Good one to go out on. It's got, I always say this, things I like, repetition of words, perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. It's got a studying, perhaps, reading, perhaps. I like that. And then she was laughing and laughing and laughing. And when you're first starting out writing, people tell you not to do like, and this, and that, and this, and another, and this. But I love that kind of repetition because it's like she was laughing and laughing and laughing. And it has a different feel there than if you just wrote, she just kept laughing or she was laughing uncontrollably. That it implies something else of, someone like the Joker giving their best, like, just it's just coming out of them rather than they're in control, but you don't know what this person is doing far off away from you, but they're laughing and you're studying and you're trying to do work and they're still laughing. And you move on to the next thing, you pull out a new notebook and they're still laughing. And I feel like things like with a repetition like this, but she was laughing and laughing and laughing, portrays that better than she laughed as I continually studied throughout the day. She kept laughing as, I closed my math book and went to English. She laughed the whole time. But laughing and laughing and laughing, for me, yes, I'm all about that. Okay, guys, so this was Monday. I don't know what to say after that, but this is Monday of our new week. We just did a 60-second word sprint, and then we read some of the other entries on oneword.com, using that just to, get ourselves flowing and get ourselves going and seeing what we can pull out of our heads in that 60 seconds, just whatever we do. And it seems to me I do like 2 or 3 average sentences. I'm gonna read that one more time. I'm gonna lead us out. The word today was laughing. Laughter is a strange thing. If you're in on the joke, it feels breathtaking, enlightening, moving. If you're not, it feels like the cruelest thing in the world. It feels like everybody and everything is against you. As we trudge through the city, through the rows and columns, we could feel the rank, vile disgust of the cityfolk we had sworn to protect. So hey, hope you did this one with me. If you did, if you're one of these 28 entries, throw me a comment down below. Tell me if you like or dislike this video. If you want to see more, if you want to see Wednesday and Friday, what I'm going to do for those, what words they'll be. Because I don't go into this knowing what words they are. I do it the same as you. Pull up the website, we hit go, we write, then we talk about it. If you want to know what we're going to be doing, later on in the week, what's going on with that writing prompt I pulled up last week about the abyss, the gown, the light, the creatures in the darkness. Want to do some more on that later in the week. I'm going to do an actual brainstorming map with, a notebook and everything. I got a new mic so I can do that and like move around and be dynamic and stuff. I'm kind of excited about that to share that with you. But we're going to do all that. So we got Monday down, we got Wednesday and Friday to go. I'm definitely going to try and do something so I can post it on Thursday. I just want to share a tip with you, just want to share a tip with everybody. A tip that, I want to make it a weekly or bi-weekly thing. Tip Thursday, tool set Thursday is the name I decided on it. Tool set Thursday, just something to slip in, remember when you need to focus, then you can pull that out because you've learned it already. You know what your tools are. You've got something already in the bank. So then in the toolbox, tool sets Thursday, tools go in a toolbox, not a bank. So subscribe. Subscribe for more if that sounds interesting. We got Monday down. We got Wednesday and Friday to go. We got Thursday. We're going to do a tool set video. Tool set Thursday. To show you a little something to expand your repertoire. Maybe something else this week besides the brainstorming video. I don't know when that's going to go up. I'm just going to post it whenever. Whenever it's done, whenever I feel like. We're going to do one of those big, cool spider maps. Comment, like, dislike, subscribe for more. I'm Nick. Hope you had fun with me today. See you next time.